Thanks a lot for a very informative lecture. A medal from the Chinese Prime Minister, I think yesterday or day before. So what is your view about the way capitalism is developing in China? Does it have element of crony capitalism? That is one. Second is, I'm very happy that your party is doing this, and I'm also very happy that none of the big leaders till now have been tainted in any manner. So there is nobody questioning, in a sense, the integrity of the party apparatus in that sense. But wherever you have been in state governments, one just has to read the newspapers for long, which people like me have done. So just the general knowledge tells me that both West Bengal and Kerala, there have been in a sense instances of favoring one group or the other, whatever you define as crony capitalism, signs of that. So I was curious how your party A deals with these situations. And second, on a more larger level, because you also refer to civil society, do you think there is something in the nature of power and governance systems which we have, which fundamentally, no matter which party comes, is kind of corrupting?
I mean, you are right. Let me begin with the last observation that you made. There is something in the system that breeds an in-house corruption and in-house nepotism. And that is something that we have been very, very concerned with. We have to change, a very radical change in our system of governance itself, in order to bring in a greater degree of transparency and accountability. And that we have tried to some extent. We succeeded. There were instances where we ignored that if we actually have much of this developmental funds being distributed through your local body administration, where the transparency and accountancy is ensured by the elected local body representatives, then to some extent, yes, we have seen with our own experience both in Kerala and Bengal, to some extent we could stem it. Both at the micro level and the macro level. You require some new systems of accountability and transparency that have to be brought in. We have made some attempts with this RTI and all these things, but still a lot more needs to be done. And there you are absolutely right. If we don't do it, this is a self-sustaining phenomenon within the system that we have created that needs to be tackled. That's absolutely correct. But the other point in what you said, reading about newspapers and what happens in Bengal, and other places where the left has been in power. You see, let me also be very candid and frank with all of you. It happened once when the Hawala case happened under Narasimha Rao's time. You remember, I don't know in Bengal if he is popular, there's a North Indian humorist on television who comes called Jaspal Bhatti. You remember. So Mr. Jaspal Bhatti is a acidic tongue, a very nice man, very good man, with a very good sense of humor. So one day he was holding a he was holding a public meeting in Chandigarh, announcing the formation of a Hawala party. That was the days of Narasimha Rao and Hawala and all that. So he said, anybody can become a member, you don't have to apply, you just come and join. In his own humorous sense, he was holding forth. But unfortunately for me, I happened to be walking on the side step along with some of my comrades, where he suddenly spotted me and he said, comrade, the aao. So I said, Bas, you all follow Hindi also, I hope, no? So I said, now this fellow is going to make mincemeat out of me, but then you couldn't help it into the public thing. So then as soon as he took me up to the podium, he said, Dekho ji, ye bhi to hai Rajneta, inhe kabhi vote mat dalna. I said, that was election time. I said, ye kya keh rahe ho aap? Kyun nahi dale vote hame? So he's telling them, don't vote for these people. So his answer was, अरे हवाला के अंदर इतने लोगों के नाम आया, इनका एक भी नाम नहीं आया, तो राज कैसे करेंगे? He said, in the entire list of Hawala fellows, none of their leaders' name has appeared. And if they are not competent to appear in the name of the Hawala list, then how can they be competent to rule the country? And therefore, you should not vote for them. This time in the Radia tapes, people were looking to see whether, so one of the journalists was commenting, I think, jovially saying, sir, we'll have to disqualify you from the parliament. I said, why? He said, if you're not competent to even find yourself mentioned in the Radia conversations, then you don't deserve to be, in the parliament. These apart, what I want to tell you is, please understand, sir, these communist parties and all of us also work in the same society that we have. Yes, I mean, a different moral standards is expected from us, and it's expected by us also. But let me give you one example. When the Panchayati Raj, the three-tier elections here in Bengal were introduced, the number of positions, elected positions that were created in these three-tier bodies was larger than the party members we had. So, number of people would come to the left front in order to become, members of these bodies, because in order to get elected. It's only after some time that you realize that they also have indulged in some degree of corruption. By the time you find that out, some damage is done. But then in Bengal itself, the largest number of people who have been thrown out of the party for this reason is the highest in anywhere else in the country. So please understand, it's a live problem. I mean, you are operating in the same society. And however much idealistic that we want to be, that we have to confront with these realities, and we have to change them, which we are attempting. Many times we are successful, sometimes we may not be. But this favor is the favoring of certain groups of what you said. If that is a favoring for some material gains, then it's a serious problem. If there is any such cases that have come to us, action is normally taken, but we don't. We don't tolerate such things from happening. If there are any such things that are there in your knowledge, please let us know. You will help us, and you will help us improve ourselves and our contribution to the country. But that is something, as far as we are concerned, we want to display a zero tolerance for these sort of nepotism or any degree of crony capitalism. But as I said earlier, there may be some failings. I'm not. Neither would I justify it, nor do I say that there are no failures. They may be. But the endeavor and the effort is to try and correct it, which we are sincerely trying. Yes, you asked me about China. I just forgot. Yes, I wouldn't call it an award, but whatever they presented me, Prime Minister, when it is for India-China friendship. So it's not a pro-China award, and then therefore it is for the friendship between India and China, which I consider very, very important for us, the future, for the future of our country, and which I think universally is acknowledged and accepted. But the type of capitalism which you said in China, even that is under dispute. What sort of a system is China following? They claim it's a socialist system, but it's a socialist system where it is a market-oriented socialism, not socialist market economy. The difference would be which is the dominant one. Is the market the dominant player in determining the economic decision making, or is it planning the more dominant player which uses market indicators? So what China today is claiming is that it is using the market indicators for a socialist planned economy. Now, how much of that is happening, but the developments in China are going at such a mind-boggling pace that it is very difficult at the macro level to sit back and really see all the internal dynamics. But like you have said, there have been instances of such crony, deals that were done. And you remember the mayor of Shanghai was actually hanged in public for corruption that was done. So they are extremely strict on this, and they want to use it as a deterrent punishment. And that is why to many of us it may look also inhuman that you publicly hang people, which is part of the medieval, civilizational culture. But then they want to do it publicly in order to deter others from doing such things. So there have been some cases like this, but one thing we must admit, they are being dealt with also. But I don't know if there are many others which we don't know of, that we are not aware. But at least, we've always maintained, making mistake is no mistake. As humans, we'll all make mistakes. The mistake lies in the fact of not recognizing that you've made a mistake and not wanting to correct that mistake so that you don't repeat it in the future. So there, I think China is at least cognizant of the fact. I mean, whenever we go there, you see huge banners and posters urging people to fight corruption, to fight all sorts of what they call alien thoughts to socialism. But it is a battle. I mean, when income inequalities grow, such things will happen, and it's a battle. I mean, it all finally determines on whether you have the internal strength to continue the battle relentlessly. But I think China is facing these problems, and it is trying to overcome them, and only they will tell us whether they will succeed or not.
Good evening, sir. Basically, like you said, that because of the nexus between politicians, the bureaucracy, and businesses, chronic capitalism doesn't seem to be a very good, or capitalism in itself, laissez-faire, doesn't seem to be a very good option right now. But if we really try to look into the history of all the corruption and bureaucracy, the amount of regulations that were prevalent earlier, I mean, that is when businesses started manipulating bureaucracy to get their way through, because there was a huge amount of income tax, etc. So don't you think the problem does not lie with capitalism per se, but it lies with the fact that this whole culture of corruption was created because of excessive amount of regulation, and the flaw is because of that regulatory system which has created this happening today, and it's not with capitalism per se.
No, it's the other way around, actually. You're putting the horse before the cart. The problem is with capitalism. And that is why, as I tried to tell you earlier, under capitalism, in order to provide a field and even playing field to all the capitalists, rules are created. Now, capitalism, with its motive of maximizing profits, always pushes to break the rules. So that push to break the regulations, break the rules, or violate the rules, because without that you don't maximize your profits. That comes from the system of capitalism, not from the structure of regulations and rules that you have. Now, whatever be the regulation of structure of rules and regulations you have, that would be pushed to its limits in order to maximize profits. You're right, when you had the permit Raj, license and permit Raj, your bureaucracy was involved in